Ready. Fight.
Box Banter presents your speedy recap of the US GP, round 19 of the 2025 season. This race brings us to Texas, a mere 1,300 kilometers away from an action-packed racing event in Alabama, running at the same time. Sadly though, F1 have us and a sold-out crowd fooled, believing we will be entertained. This weekend marked the 22nd sprint event where Max would again take pole in search for his 13th sprint win, while the McLaren duo looked to move into second all-time with a third win. Lando, with his repercussions from his Singapore indiscretions, outqualified Oscar, then became entangled with the Aussie in turn 1, ending both of McLaren's races, along with Fernando. All I can say is Nico Hülkenberg must be looking forward to getting handed his repercussions from Father Zach, as they didn't seem to hamper Lando at all. Max would claim win 13 after a sterling attempt from Mr. Saturday didn't pay off. George did become the only car Max would see in front of him all weekend, until he wasn't, and Max said a curse word on the radio. After a second dose of qualifying, Oscar doubled down like a true Aussie as he dragged his feet while working on a weekend, coming in 6th, half a second off Lando, but Max stole the show once more for his 7th P1 start for 2025. George Russell's new contract lines up perfectly with a lackluster performance from here on out. As the lights extinguish, our anticipation rises for the craziest turn 1 on the calendar, and when all 20 cars make it through clean, we know what type of race we're in for. Pirelli's attempt at forcing strategy options backfires as the hard is quickly proven useless, forcing all the cars on the same tyre management strategy. Yay. Heritage Lando is in fine form, losing a spot off the grid, while Oscar gains an important position at the same time. Max steams out in front, controlling his race while sprung. Leclerc battles his entire first stint with mediumly talented, sprung, Lando, who struggles to make his move. Lance Stroll shows his unwavering confidence making moves into turn 1, even with his brain failure in the sprint. While his confidence is sky high, the other 19 drivers have no confidence in his abilities at all and always made the smart choice to get the fuck out of his way. The end of the race could not come quick enough, but when it finally did, Max claims win number 68, moving in within 23 wins of Michael Schumacher's once untouchable 91. Lando slipped soft Charles a dollar bill for after the race and thus got easy passage into P2, while Oscar couldn't bribe Lewis the same way and crossed the line 5th. The lead at the top condenses further to just 14, while Max is only 40 points behind of Oscar. Finally, I can switch back to Dega!
Welcome to round 19 of the Formula One Championship and episode 34 of Box Banter. I'm Raymond. Timmy.
You are Raymond.
Yeah. Timmy to my left.
Yeah.
How
that's
are
me.
you?
I'm great.
Big fella.
Yep.
Actually, can I still call you big fella? I know you've been losing a bit of weight lately.
Whoa. Don't let the people know. I'm doing it for them.
You're slimming up.
Yeah, I know.
Does that mean I have to call you like mid fella?
Yeah. Well, I'm still bigger than you, so
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
Yeah. What ways? What other ways? What are you alluding to?
Every way possible.
No, okay. Yeah. You want to do a comparison later?
We were anyway.
No. You're backing off now?
We were anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so this week we're in Austin, Texas. COTA. There's so many names this track is known by, which is probably
Circuit of the Americas is the name.
Yeah. COTA.
The US GP.
Yep.
Very
US
imaginative.
GP. Yep. Oscar Piastri. He's had a rough day at the office, hasn't he?
2-3 days. Yeah.
Rough
3 days.
Couple days, hasn't he?
We've said this all year. Coming into this back end, these tracks we saw last year just didn't suit him. So I'm not surprised. I didn't expect him to come out and beat Lando. I did not expect him to come out and be half a second off Lando consistently.
Yeah.
That hurt.
So should we start worrying? Should McLaren start worrying?
Oh,
I
got some juicy stuff coming up later about exactly why they should be worrying. We'll get to that. But between the two McLarens, I'm not feeling great. Not feeling great. I mean, what's the championship down to? 14 points.
14 points and then 40 off of Verstappen.
Yeah. No, we'll get to that. We'll get to all that stuff. But just between the two McLarens, 14 points. It was 31 34 rounds ago.
It was 34, and then he's dropped 20 points to Norris. So
he can't keep getting away with this. He can't. We got every weekend. He survived another weekend. It's like he doesn't have.
Look, that's the
much
benefit of a point margin, though, right? Is that
Well,
he can afford to have a couple of bad weekends.
Well, 4 in a row now.
Yeah,
I think is what we're looking at.
At least 3 by my calculations. But like his last results were, so he just had a P5 this round with a DNF at the sprint, P4 in Singapore, and DNF at Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And then before that, I think that was Monza, which was his last podium, P3. So still behind Norris.
Yeah, well, so again, I still claim that as a loss, and we know why.
Yeah, and then his last win was Zandvoort.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his last 3 to 4 races have been concerning.
Yeah.
So, I think we've always said he knows how to close out a season and he knows what to do. And I think I'm still leaning that way.
It's his comfort zone. I mean, all of his championships have come down to a final race.
Yeah.
Hit out.
What I'm probably more concerned about is the actual state of that McLaren, because they just don't look like the dominant force that they were at the beginning of the season.
No, definitely not.
So if he's lost a little bit of confidence and the car's not quite there, it's just a recipe for disaster, you know?
I think it's...
Because I don't actually think that Norris is his threat. Norris is a threat, for sure. And if Norris keeps pipping results over him, Norris will finish ahead of him. But I actually still think that Max is the bigger threat now. Because they're just lucky that the double DNF occurred in the sprint and not in the race. Because if it occurred in the GP, then they're in all sorts of trouble.
Max got, 33 points this weekend. To Lando's 18.
Yeah.
And Oscar's 10 or something. 9, 8. Not good. Not good for McLaren. No. And there's quite a few. Let's not forget who the king of sprints is and how many sprints are left. 2 or 3?
Two, yeah. Yep.
There is a hell of a lot of points on the table. And if he has another 33-point weekend, if he outscores them again by 15 points, he's within a race win of Oscar or whoever the lead McLaren would be at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not looking good. It's pretty crazy. I don't want to get too much into Max yet, but yeah, Oscar was dreadful, honestly. I mean, I actually watched everything this weekend and watched practice 1. I mean, that's the only thing I would have skipped anyway. Yeah. But I did go back and watch that. And I think after sprint, we spoke and you mentioned, at least it was just a sprint. But I was like, the writing's on the wall. He was nowhere in practice or it was not convincing. Yeah. Sprint quality, not great. And then we didn't see what happened. We didn't get to see any pace in the sprint race. And then, I just wasn't. I was surprised he was so far off, but he just shown he didn't have a single lap where you're like, oh, he just needs to do that again. Like he didn't have a single lap where he was quicker than Max or quicker than Lando. Look, it's probably head-to-head straight fight. It's
hard, we can only speculate, but look at how much the rookies struggled on this track. They all struggled. Look at who excelled on this track. The guys that have been there 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah. Hulk was in the mix, so I think the track is showing that it is difficult to master, and the guys that have been there and they sort of understand the intricacies of the track a little bit more are excelling. Yeah, and that does fall into Lando's hand as well because he's been there 7 times, 8 times now, maybe. Yep. Whereas Oscar hasn't been there quite as much, so maybe there is even just that sense of I'm still trying to figure this track out as well. Yeah. It's not his rookie year, but he's only been there.
This is only his third
time. Yeah. So I think there's part of that, but I also did see that apparently McLaren got the ride height of their car wrong. So the balance was just off all weekend. So the Red Bull was running quite a lot lower than the McLaren, giving them far more downforce.
Caused a few issues and complaints.
Yeah. So, you could say that Lando adapted better, and that's probably because of that sort of confidence going into the track and the experience there. But look at how much he struggled to pass Leclerc. And
Leclerc is one of the toughest to pass.
He's
but he never really got into a great commanding position over him in the first place. No.
So yeah, I'd argue that the McLaren, that's what I'm sort of most worried about. The McLaren just seems to have lost something all of a sudden.
Oh, they absolutely have fallen behind the development train. I mean, this track should have been, and the commentators were saying it, but this track absolutely should have been in their wheelhouse with their ability to keep the tyres in an operating window and keep them cool for the long run.
Yeah.
With the heat and the clear degradation, and maybe Lando had a bit more pace at the end of the race over Charles, but it wasn't much.
No.
At all. Yeah. And it took his engineer to tell him, you need to back off 2 seconds and cool your tyres down and have one last crack at him.
Well, he essentially threw in the towel, didn't he? It wasn't. It was only because of his engineer told him just
back off, cool tyre down. Yeah.
Give it one more last crack.
So that, but I think the only thing I can put it down to for Oscar and his general lack of one lap pace, it probably is the track's so long and so hot, and the last sector is quite tricky.
Yeah,
that maybe he's not biding his time through his quali lap. He's not saving that little bit of tyre and energy for the last sector.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of where someone like the experience of Max and Lando, Hamilton and Charles, they know, all right, the first sector, you just take it a little bit easy and you just save that little bit of temperature, a little bit of grip to be able to complete the lap, because it's 5.5 Ks. Like, it's quite a long track. And the temperatures that are there and the tyres that were along with them.
You're right. The last sector is the most technical, where you need the most
you got
grip.
That triple right-hander, you got deep, braking zones with the long radius corners, and even the last two corners, or that second last corner, like you showed how many mistakes were there throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah,
you need a tyre for that corner, and that's just effectively a simple left-hander. So that last sector, you do need to have some tyre left. So potentially that's just maybe what Oscar was struggling with, was how do you balance the tyre for the entire lap, so you're not just dropping away for the whole sector. That's the only thing I can think of, because he struggled here last year, so it's not like he just rocked up and the car wasn't to his suited.
Yeah, he's clearly still figuring it out. The car was a little off performance in general. And then you have an accident in the sprint round, which means that it's always going to be harder to recover that. You have 3 hours from the sprint to the qualifying to get that car back tuned up and ready to go. Yeah. You're on the back foot for the rest of the weekend.
They asked Andrea about it, and it's a good point. That's, how many laps was it? How many laps was the sprint? 16, 17 laps, something?
Yes.
That's data that every other team got, and you didn't even have one car to gather the data. You had no cars, you had no gathering data, you had no idea what the tyre was like when it came back in. The drivers themselves are on the back foot. Yeah, data is one thing, but the actual that was 17 laps, and the mediums they held on pretty well. They didn't even get that feel. No. So, I feel like Oscar showed in the last couple of races his ability to, at the back end of a stint, catch up to Lando. We saw it in Singapore both times. The back end of the stint, it's like he just maintains the tyre enough that the back end of the stint, he's got just a little bit more to close that margin before a pit stop or before whatever happens. Yeah. This race, he just wasn't able to do it. And you wonder, did it come down to that, where it is a bit of a tyre eater, and he didn't even get the 19 laps to be like, okay, we can't do this pace on a medium to maintain lap time. Whereas the other drivers all got that sample to be like, all right, by the 17th lap, we're a second half off. If we can, drop our lap times to by 0.2, that changes to only losing a second over a lap, So that bit of data that they didn't collect, 100% makes a difference for the Grand Prix.
So then the sprint accident, what are your thoughts on that? What do you take away? Is how much of that does Piastri have to wear as a responsibility?
Well, it was Oscar's fault, I think. But at the same time,
it was ambitious, wasn't it?
Well, I think all three of them have a part to play. Yeah. So, Oscar got a great launch.
Well, even someone like Alonso knows that if you're going that deep on the inside there, you're always going to be asking for trouble, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, Oscar got Oscar almost cleared him fully into turn one. But
that was his problem.
Lando
bottled the start again.
Yeah.
But Lando just left it off the brakes to keep him out wide.
He held him up so far. Oscar would have ended up off track trying to go around the outside. So he really wasn't left, as far as trying to be aggressive and make a move and rewrite this script that has formed. Yeah. His only option is to do what he did. Okay, you're going to push me off the track here. My only option is to either sit behind you and let these 4 cars on the inside take the spot, or try the switchback. Yeah. He was left with that decision to make. And he made that decision. And honestly, it was aggressive because even if you don't see those two cars on the inside for Oscar, you should probably there's a good chance they're going to.
It's like a 90% chance there's a car there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I see it exactly the same. I see it where it all really comes back to qualifying, doesn't it? He doesn't have the inside line, so he's already at a disadvantage. Lando gets a terrible start. He just jumps him. And like you said, he almost cleared him by the first corner. Yeah. So that's how much of a better start he got. But then when you watch Oscar's onboard, you can just see he lets off the brake and comes flying back up on the inside there and basically leaves him nowhere to go. And I'm not saying it's Norris's fault. Norris was just doing what any driver...
He's entitled to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. But I sort of liked the thought of Piastri's switchback because it's like any other time in the race that works and you get him. You get him going into those S's.
If those cars weren't there, he would have rocketed down the inside of the S's.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was looking to like get that pass done for sure. And like maybe there was an element that there was nowhere left to go on the track. It's just unfortunate that Hülkenberg was there and Alonso just got a ripping start and he found himself up there too. So
I think it all
comes down from poor qualifying and, you know, we'll call it poor because he wasn't on pole and he wasn't on the inside of the track.
Yeah.
And Alonso just being just elite at those starts again. So
I think it's all that, but it also is Singapore. I think Oscar's in his head now about what's allowed. So an aggressive move like that is allowed on your teammate and take the risk of exactly what happened. Like take that risk because this is what we are allowed to do now. I mean, I don't know what... we'll get into it a little bit later. I don't know what the repercussions were, but clearly there weren't much. Lando was allowed to defend Oscar off the start. He was allowed to do a full hard block move to ensure Oscar couldn't pass him. So the repercussions clearly aren't anything to do with racing.
I've never hated a word so much in my life than that word this weekend.
This is the skill McLaren have. They ruin like anything.
Literally. Like the weekend, everyone was talking about that word. I would just refuse to say it. And it's like, this is what racing's come to.
Yeah.
And, you know, like they don't want to make it public because it could be used to the other team's advantage. So it makes you think, okay, so this is an on-track decision then, is it?
But that's what I'm saying. What could it have been? Because it's not like they said to Lando...
So the only thing that I've seen floated, and I think it came from like Brundle, because apparently Brundle knows, because, you know, he's a McLaren guy and he clearly is #1 Lando fan. But unofficially, there was something that I saw floating around where it's Oscar gets the optimal qualifying track position for every race to the end. Okay. That's apparently potentially the repercussion.
They did. I mean, I guess they sort of let that slip because they did mention, one of the commentators did mention, during qualifying. Oh, this is interesting. The last 2 qualifying sessions, Oscar's come out
first.
No, behind Lando.
Yeah.
As if to get the slipstream. The third run, Oscar came out first for a bit of free air and time. So, I mean, they mentioned that and they brought that up as if it was a bit odd. So maybe it's kind of makes sense. Tracks. We'll get into that later. I've got that somewhere.
I really don't want to talk about repercussions. That's not the kind. Again, it's not the kind of racing. I love mind games. You know, I'm all for mind games.
Fuck later. I don't have a side quest later. What bugs me is I feel awkward and uncomfortable.
Hang on, so is this your side quest achievement?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing it now.
All right, just go. Yep. Just
I feel uncomfortable and awkward for Lando and Oscar. Zach Brown is like, he's like the I'm not angry, I'm disappointed dad.
Yeah.
And that's how he's playing this.
Yeah.
Like, we've got repercussions for Lando and the fans won't see it. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, you're acting like their dad, not their racing employer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel uncomfortable for them. Like, they're going to go... after that Singapore incident, I'm like, Oscar's in trouble. Like, he's going to go... It's not like... Look at drivers in the past. Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber. They could do whatever they wanted on track. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to walk in and say, you're going to say shit to me. You're not going to say shit to me because we're going to be... You would be nowhere without us.
Yeah.
Somehow, the McLaren drivers are below the entire team. They're not looked at as, these are our drivers, these are our guys who are doing it on track for us, who are getting us these results. Like, yes, it's a team sport. Everyone's here for the drivers. Everyone watches for the drivers. The drivers are the ones doing the do it on track. Doesn't matter what car you build, you need the drivers to do the work. McLaren don't treat their drivers as the superstars that they are, that Formula One pedal that we turn up to watch. Like, they treat their drivers like children, and everything they do on track, you're going to get a sit down talking to. And it's uncomfortable. Yeah,
I mean, the thing about Formula One, right? Like, it's a sport. It's an entertainment
fundamentally that's
category.
All it is.
Yeah. And McLaren are just trying their hardest to make it as unentertaining as possible in every way. And I don't know if it's an ego thing, like from Zach Brown. Like, does he want to be the face of McLaren? Does he want to be...
That's what I think it might be.
Does he want him to be... Like, you think about the podium celebrations that they had without Oscar. Like, one of their key drivers that gave you that success wasn't on the podium.
Yeah.
And you got this dickhead up there kissing the trophy and doing all the Lewis Hamilton impression shit and it just...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
it's gross.
Look at, Mercedes. How many times those drivers crashed? They didn't get to sit down, put in a corner and get told to feel bad and get told that they need to write apologies to each other and you're going to bed with that dinner tonight. Like, this is the shit the McLaren drivers have to deal with, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's
put soap in your mouth.
Yeah, like that's...
You spoke against us on the radio?
Yeah. I want to see... Like, don't forget, both those McLaren drivers should have been angry. Not at each other, maybe, but, like, they should have just been angry at the situation. They should have been able to go back, and the team should be tense. The team should be like, holy shit. They're going to be angry. But instead, they have to walk in with their heads down, looking at Zach like, hey, sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, a lot of the... we're clearly backing Oscar because we're Aussies, and, we haven't had a championship in a long time, so we're hoping that he can get it done. So there is always going to be a level of, like, fuck Lando. But aside from his, like, whinging and his bullshit aside, which he just still does to this day, he still pick it up in the media and is complaining and his excuses and whatever. I don't blame him anywhere near as much as I blame McLaren. I think McLaren are more responsible for the situation that they've caused this season and the toxicity that's led to both in the fan base and within the team and across the paddock. They've become a laughing stock. And then there is a part of that where I do think how much of that noise that they just constantly have to deal with affect their ability to race on track. And look at this second half of the season, how it's crumbling away from them. Yeah. I want nothing more than to see Oscar Piastri become world champion. We all do. I think a good chunk of the world wants to see that. He seems very deserving. But there is almost an equal side of me that wants to see Max take it off McLaren. Because
not only do I want to see it, I'm actually like... I should have checked the odds because I reckon he's rocketing up there. You want
to talk about who knows how to close out a season? We've seen it before. Yeah. It's Max Verstappen. So... yeah. All right, let's get into the categories before we, somebody's already gone early, prematurely. So mark that one off. Yep. But we'll get into the final boss. Yep. So I'm going to assume... So the final boss is who we think is effectively the best driver from the weekend. Yeah. And I don't understand who you could give that to other than Max Verstappen. There's just no other contender on that list.
I'd Kimi Antonelli. He took the fastest lap off Max.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, he's the fastest driver, right? So he
Max.
He dethroned the king.
Yeah, he cockblocked Max's. I don't even know what you call a Grand Slam that incorporates the sprint.
Yeah. What did you text me? Like ultra Grand Slam?
Yeah. That's not good enough. You need something more hard hitting.
Supreme.
Yeah. I mean, they said if he gets this, he would equal the record, and the record's like 8 or 9.
I kind of like that he didn't. Silly. Like, it would have been cool if he did, but I kind of like that he didn't because I think that shows his mentality's more fixed on
win the race, do the job at hand, don't burn that one lap up. Yeah. Because he could have. He come out. He was the last to pit. He would have the lightest fuel load, best tires, Max in a Red Bull. Yeah. He could have done it. Yeah. But like you said, and I agree, like
he's playing the long game.
He's not here for this. I don't even know if you'll see it.
Somewhat meaningless accolade.
Yeah, but I mean, he's king of the sprints, but I don't think we'd ever see it happen again. I mean, for you to go out, get the pole in the sprint, then you win and lead every lap and get the fastest lap. Yeah. Then go on to do that exact same thing in the GP a day later. Yeah. There's only been the record's 8 or 9 for that happening in a Grand Prix, let alone doing it on a Grand Prix, like doing it twice in one weekend. Yeah. Phenomenal. I don't think he might have missed an opportunity for the one and only time to make that happen. But, I mean, he didn't do it, when he had the most dominant car winning frigging 18 races a year, he wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know when we'd see the chance again. So it would have been awesome to come in here today and talk about it happening.
Yeah.
But we don't get to. So whatever. But that it's Max, right? Max is back.
He's back, yeah. He is out-qualified and out-raced in the McLaren in the last 4 Grand Prix and sprint.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to pip him once.
No.
He's had faster one-lap pace and faster race pace.
Yeah.
For over 4 tracks.
Well,
and 4 very different tracks. You've had street circuits, you've had actual racetrack circuits, you've had slow speed corners, you've had high speed corners, you've had it all. And he's mastered it all.
You've had night racing, day racing, heat, not heat.
Heat, cold.
Literally everything. Yeah. Well, I'll spit half of my Easter egg now as well, because I did have 2 sort of facts.
Do you want to just do the show by yourself?
No, it just ties in perfectly with what you just said. Okay? Since the summer break, right? Mm-hmm. There has been...
Just remind me, what round was that?
Zandvoort was the first one back.
Yeah.
So, because we are recording a little bit later again, there's been some stuff that comes out overnight, which is great. Mm-hmm. Since the summer break, there has been 133 points on offer.
Yeah.
He's claimed 119 of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's left 14 points on the table,
which would have gone to George. So it wouldn't have.
Well, obviously he didn't win Zandvoort.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
so Zandvoort
and Singapore.
And Singapore. Yeah. Like that's it.
Yeah. Wow.
That's all that he has left.
You can't tell me that Red Bull aren't back.
Yeah. And then I won't get into that second half of the point because it's better. But like that just shows 100%. The last 4, in fact, 5 races. But he didn't beat him in Zandvoort.
Yeah.
But since then, boy oh boy,
I think
it's been unreal.
Yeah. I look at Max, especially this season, and I was saying it to someone the other day. Like, I've gone from I can't stand this fucking guy to this guy's pretty good. You can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
To now, like, who's going to stop him?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, is there a driver
on Max Verstappen pop vinyl right here?
Yeah. Like, is there a driver on the grid that can beat Max Verstappen? Where, like, I mean, equal machinery is one argument, but even if you've got a better car, how many drivers can still beat Max Verstappen?
No. And we saw this year when McLaren had the dominant car for the first 3 quarters, they couldn't always beat him in qualifying or race trim.
It sort of shows that never give up, never say die. Even if you finish 7th and it's a terrible weekend, those results are just as important because look where all of a sudden he has found himself with Red Bull with 5 races remaining. Yeah. Potentially could pick up his 5th title. And you go back, any point of the season, and he was just, I'm not in it. But still chipping away.
He DNF'd at Austria.
Yeah,
he got taken out by Kimi Antonelli.
And not even his fault.
Yeah. So that's probably finishes 3rd at least. That's 12 points.
Yeah.
This 40-point lead is 28.
The guy is like, I think, once again, I hope that we get to see, we get to enjoy a long and fruitful Oscar Piastri career, and that he can bring some glory back to Australia. But I do honestly look at Max and I think, who's beating this guy? Who is there a human being in this world that can outrace Max Verstappen? There isn't. He is the greatest motorsport driver on the planet.
Yeah, I reckon this year is your first true reason to say something like that. Because it's easy to win with the best team, the best car, the way he was a couple of years ago, where no one could simply put a hand on him. It was a formality.
Red Bull won all but one race.
Yeah, like it was just a formality. They'd rock up and get it done. Yeah. Like, he would have been paying $1.01. Like, it's just
literally playing Formula One on easy mode.
Yeah, exactly. And the rest of the team was there to just make up the numbers. Yeah. The rest of the grid. Now, this year, the back half of last year, like, he had a big lead. He just had to consolidate that championship, which he did, no worries. This year's the first year you go, I mean, he impressed me, and we've spent half the year talking about Max way more than I thought we ever would have. Yeah. Because the way he just came out of the gates and was able to compete with the McLaren team that was clearly leagues above. Yeah. And we saw Max would have tracks where he just was nowhere, showing how that Red Bull could be. Like some tracks, he was able to to wrangle a better result, but then to just come out and just pip them in qualifying out of nowhere at the earlier points in the year when the gaps were really close. That's where you're like, you can't. What do you do? What do you say?
I mean, the only argument against it could be the era of Formula One that we're in, and it's about one lap pace. It's about qualifying. It's a qualifying championship, and he's the best out there. You know, he's even when he didn't have the car tuned up to how he liked and the best possible version of that car, he was still out qualifying the McLarens at times in the year. You know, we're in an era of the sport where it's not impossible, but it is extremely difficult to pass. Yeah. So, you know, if you know your defense well and you know the rules well and how to make them work to you, you can keep cars behind you. And Max, who's better at that than Max? Yeah. And then we're in an era when you got soft tires that last 30 fucking laps. So there's no tire strategy. There's no unknowns with the tire there. Yeah. I mean, that has killed that whole element of Formula One this season for us as well. So there is things that maybe are playing into the hand of someone who's just naturally fast because there's less unknowns, I guess, around tires, around strategy, even though like wet races, they're nullifying as well. Yeah. But hands down, I do not see a driver on that grid right now that can take the fight to Max Verstappen. No, you know, and I wish I could say it was Oscar Piastri. I wish I could say it was Charles Leclerc. I even wish I could say it was George Russell. I wish there was a guy that you're like, these two going head to head would be insane. And the last time we saw that was probably 2021 when Lewis Hamilton was in his peak, and how intense that battle was. If you can have a driver and a car combo that can get to that same level as Max Verstappen, you're on for some legitimate entertainment.
I mean, the interesting and the funny thing is, I can't wait for after the season to do a debrief for the season, because Max is on to get more poles, more wins, and the championship than both McLaren drivers. Yeah. That is literally what he's on his way to do.
In a season where they've said it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah, in a season where the Red Bull was dog shit. They're fourth in the Constructors' title. They haven't been able to get the second car to turn on at all. He's going to come out and just show what one man can do in a team that has been on a downward trend hard for the last sort of 18 months.
They even lost their long-standing team principal, right? Yeah. So
it's pretty pretty unbelievable.
All right, so Max Verstappen, final boss of Austin.
Yeah. Texas, COTA. Yeah. USGP.
Okay, who was the noob of the weekend?
Go to Lance Stroll.
Always a solid nominee.
Yeah. You got the usuals, the usual three, usual suspects. Just terrible. Crash in the sprint, heavily crashed in the sprint.
He was so far back, he was basically in Mexico already when he put that move on.
Well, I loved, it was actually Brundle, he said he was already apologising to Ocon before he made contact. That made me laugh. I was like, because he come from that far back. He's like, oh. But that was a shocker. That was a big old whack.
That was a classic old school Stroll move. Yeah.
And then in the race, it was funny because I was like, oh, you clearly didn't lose any confidence. I'm like, I think they've all seen the tapes. If they lose Lance in their mirrors, I think they're just like, okay, I'm getting out of the way. Especially fighting for 16th. Yeah. The dregs. But very noob worthy.
Solid nominee. I've awarded this to McLaren. There's clearly teams and drivers that are worse than McLaren right now, but I kind of look at drivers like Stroll. I look at teams like Alpine, Haas, even probably Sauber, and like they're just non-events. We're not watching them. They have no real importance on the season.
Honestly, the race was so boring. I actually can't remember anything that happened.
I saw the highlight package and I was surprised that they even got it up to 8 minutes. Yeah.
And normally they're 10. That shows you something.
Yeah. So I gave it to McLaren because I think that they're just making so much noise in the media. They're refusing to back a driver and they're just fumbling the championship. And everyone knows it but them. It seems like everyone literally knows it and can see it but them.
They're still worrying about how they can make an even fight between the two drivers. Yeah. So much so that they're going to literally
lose it.
They're literally going to... Yeah, and we just spent 20 minutes talking about it. But
but that probably does come back to the ego thing of Zach Brown. Yeah, he probably does not give a shit as long as McLaren are the best team on the grid, and he's got that. So maybe in his eyes, he's like, I don't really care if the drivers win or lose. Sort of like last season. He's they said something like they're the most popular team, like the most followed. They sell the most merch. I think they're the most valued.
Any what's the expression? Any
news and like bad news is good news.
Yeah. Just talk. Just speak. It'll come to me. Yeah. It'll come to me.
But this is why I'm giving them noob. I think they're literally fumbling the championship.
Yeah.
Right in lifetime in front of everyone, and they seem to be the only ones that don't know it.
Yeah. I mean, every weekend they turn up thinking, and the media as well. They interview those same two drivers and go, what are we looking for this weekend?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't have the pace. It doesn't matter. They're battling for barely getting one car on the podium for the last 3 rounds.
Who do we want to award it to?
McLaren. And then I want to not talk about McLaren again.
Or Stroll. I mean, how dare you bring him up, honestly?
I like Stroll more than I like McLaren.
Whoa. I'm going to remember that you said that.
I like...
Christmas is coming around the corner.
I like anybody more than I like Stroll. If you said, hey, here's a McLaren, just a generic McLaren shirt or a Lance Stroll shirt, give me that Aston Martin shirt any day of the week.
Slapping that one on.
Yeah. I'll wear... Like, I don't know, did they make Oscar Piastri merch?
I guess that's...
No McLaren on it? Just OP
Oscar
merch with the 81? Yeah, so I'd get that.
He could do a better job. Like, I will happily design Oscar Piastri merch for him. I could do a way better job than what he's got going on there. Yeah. I literally go on all the time going, I want to pick up a shirt. And I'm like, I wouldn't wear any of this.
Yeah. Well, Oscar, if you're needing someone to party up with.
Hey, we'll do it. All right, well done to McLaren for being our noob of the week. So the next achievement is the got buffed achievement. So which team had the biggest buff?
I gave it to Charles Leclerc.
Okay, so I gave it to Ferrari. So I guess we're on the same sort of page, really. Yeah. Because, Charles, you did get the podium, but you had Hamilton right behind him there as well. So
yeah, they definitely as a team were better. Charles got the driver of the day. They gave him an alternate strategy that sort of gave him a slower ending to the race, which is always tough.
But allowed him to make the moves to get into that position, I guess.
Yeah, it was probably like he would have finished third anyway, even if he went on the alternate strategy. So they gave him an aggressive strat and then relied on his ability to defend, which paid off in the first stint.
Well, it looked like he was almost going to pull it off, right? When there was like 5 laps to go, it was like,
yeah, well, everyone, even the McLarens were like, there's going to be no movement in the top 10. They made that claim.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Charles, it was strange. I don't blame him because it was filthy, disgusting, dirty on the inside. Terrible.
Filthy, disgusting, dirty? Yeah.
Terrible. I can't believe Lando actually had the sack to go down there.
Yeah.
So I don't blame Charles for not... You don't want to go in there unless you're sure the other driver's going in there. And he's racing Lando. And there's a 98% chance Lando was not doing that move.
But also remember, he couldn't pass him, and he essentially gave up. But then once he did pass him, he got like 5 seconds down the road in a matter of laps. Oh, so it sort of shows how difficult it really was to pass even a car that was quite a bit slower than the pace that you had. So
yeah. But I think if he held him off 2 or 3 more laps in the first stint, he probably holds on to second.
Yeah.
But because as obviously whenever he got past, that was when they were going to pit no matter what. Yeah. So he just didn't have enough tire at the end of the race. So if he was able to it was almost like, we just broke down 2018 USGP. Kimi unlocked the win by being able to hold Lewis up for a certain amount of laps before getting into his pit window. Yeah. That was almost what Charles had to do, was just hold...
Ferrari, like... What did we do last time we won here?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Do that, literally. Yeah. So that was almost like what it was. They were just like, hold him off as long as you can, but once he gets you, like you need to pit so he can kind of undercut him back and manage. And that's what he did. He come out and he just had Lando at that 21-second gap. He just held him to there's no point getting up and getting back to 10 seconds behind him and then burning your tyres off. The whole race, and it was just disappointing as a whole, was just all about management. They brought the tyres they brought was like they said it was two steps in between the hard, the medium and the soft, and then they had the hard tyre. This is great. This will make racing happen because the tyre. They're polar opposite. They brought a hard tyre that for whatever reason simply couldn't be raced on. Yeah, no one dared after the opening 4 cars did it. So then they just made softs and mediums go run the entire race and just managed like crazy.
Laps. Yeah.
God, but they shouldn't last 30 laps. I can't believe not one team, one contending team, just went for a double stack. I mean, they were so off the pace. It's just...
Well, George Russell said it best. He was like, I don't remember the last Grand Prix where someone did a double pit strategy. I literally
like
don't
a contender.
remember.
There's a couple of the bottom feeders did it, but they're not fast enough that it mattered.
And he's so right. Like, how have we ended up here?
Yeah, like I said last week or the week before, it needs to be where your tyres are a 2-stop or a 1-stop with management could be the same time.
Yeah.
Roughly, of a Grand Prix. So you can put that second set of tyre on, and you'll make that 20-second pit stop back up just with pace. And you have to pass some cars, but it gives us something to look forward to. Racing, like how good.
Yeah. Imagine
forgive
that.
me.
Imagine watching a race where there's actual passing and racing.
Yeah, forgive me for wanting that.
Yeah.
But that's tyres or every single thing in all forms of motorsport. You can do whatever you want to the car, but there's only 4 things that touch the ground. Forgive me for thinking they are the most important things.
Yeah.
You could put road tyres on that hard as balls, and you'll get nothing happen. Or you can make these tyres do something.
It almost is like, they took away the fueling because of the safety concerns. So, like, Formula One lost that years ago. But it almost is a point of, why do we even have the pit stop? Like, why don't they just strap on the hard tyres and
pretty much
go do your 50 laps?
I mean, pretty much the strategy in Formula nowadays is don't fuck up your pit stop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is the strap. And like they said,
and you're talking a difference of like 2.3 to
like
3.3. Yeah.
I mean, they even said about Max when he pitted, they're like, this is the only danger to Max. This pit stop is his only competition.
Yeah.
And they did it. They nailed it because it's Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like that, you're right. I mean, they literally might as well get rid of pit stops.
Yeah.
Because you're only having 1-stop races anyway.
Stop hauling all those 12 sets of tyres. Just have 1 set of tyres for quality, 1 set of tyres for the race. Like,
and
because
I
it
don't
is a
think
non-event.
that would improve racing, but I also don't think it would have any negative impact on what we're already seeing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, so real quick, because obviously we're going to award it to... We'll just award it to...
McLaren,
No, Ferrari.
Oh, sorry.
Ferrari and Charles. But Charles... now full year since Ferrari's last win because he won Austin last year.
It was a 1-2 as well, wasn't it?
Yep. And he is
Didn't you say Sainz is Ferrari's last GP winner? He's the most current Ferrari winner.
Sorry, it might have been podium then.
Anyway, well, he didn't win this.
I didn't write that one down. I was flying off the top of my noggin. But what I wanted to say is he's the highest driver in the championship without a win this season.
Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 8-9 podiums. Like, he's actually done quite well.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It might have been Sainz one in Austin.
I think it might have been because I was talking about the 1-2 all weekend.
Yeah.
But was not paying enough attention. Yeah. But I reckon it was. I reckon it was Sainz, Leclerc.
Yeah. Ferrari, our buffed up achievement for the week.
Fantastic.
Which leads us into who got nerfed this weekend.
I've got Oscar Piastri.
Okay, give me your reasons.
We've already discussed everything. I mean, maybe it was self-nerfed or who knows what, but no pace. Absolutely no pace, no inroads, made no dent, made no impression on this entire Grand Prix weekend.
Literally, yeah.
Shocking.
I gave it to George Russell because I sort of lumped, I guess, Piastri in with the McLaren.
That's a good one. I mean, you went from a pretty dominant win in Singapore to where was George? Well, it was in the speed run. He that contract bait.
Yeah, the
contract bait's gone.
Yeah, as soon as he signed it, he's like, clocking off early
back into
today.
Default mode.
Yeah,
he's gone back into Mr. Saturday mode because he done such a good job in the sprint. And come race day, no good.
Yeah. So Toto said it best. He called the car a surprise box of a car, where they don't know
what they're going to get from it.
Yeah.
Talk about having confidence in your engineers who have to read the car.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. You just put it on the track and it works or doesn't. Like, come on.
So I feel like he got the biggest nerf because he went literally from a pretty dominant weekend in Singapore
to that win.
Yeah, to just it never looked threatening really.
No.
So
I mean, he lost his pace off the start to a piece of shit McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Give it to Russ.
All right. Well done, Georgie boy. Georgie boy.
Nerfed.
All right, Sweaty Tryhard of Austin. So this is where we award an achievement for someone who basically came off like a sweaty tryhard over the radio or in the media.
Yeah.
Sort of showing a little bit of rage or a bit of spice that you'd expect from someone who's just trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you my contender first. I gave it to Zach Brown for his fierce and maybe somewhat undeserving criticism of Hulkenberg.
What did he say?
So he called it amateur hour and said that there were drivers that had no business being where he was.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, he went hard.
That's rough.
Now, he did later, obviously, when he, looked at the video.
Check the tapes.
Yeah, when he checked the tapes later, he did come back on and say, yeah, no, I take back what I said about Nico.
Yeah, because he said that in qualifying. He said, I can't really blame that one on Nico.
Yeah. But he went pretty hard on Nico.
Where was he at the start of the Grand Prix? Because I didn't want to... I was happy when everyone was happy to not put the blame on Oscar.
Yeah.
But I'm like... He had a pretty good hand in that whole situation.
Oh, yeah.
So, where was he? Was he not watching the race? Did he forget to sign on? Did he forget what time it started? Was he not watching? Because clear as day, straight away. Like, you got intricacies to look at to really kind of blame fault. But from the naked eye, you're like, Oscar was very aggressive.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know why he came across so hard on Nico.
Obviously, it was deemed as a racing incident, as Turn 1 incidents often are.
Yeah.
But Zach Brown came after Hulk hard, and then retracted it later when he actually, remembered his eyes aren't painted on. So
that's funny. All right, well, I gave mine for Max blowing up on the radio when George tried to pass him in the sprint.
Ooh, remind me.
Well, I didn't track the actual quote, but when George dive bombed him at the end of the straight.
Yeah.
And then Max gets on the radio and says something to the effect of, mate, what was that? Like, you can't fucking... Anyway, the thing that made me laugh the most was when Brundle was like, isn't that what Max does to everybody? And isn't that what we kind of love about Max? That is literally the kind of shit he does all the time.
Yeah.
And then...
That's definitely sweaty, try-hard behaviour.
Here comes George, who does the exact move, very, very aggressive, very... Just not going to work. Like, really, Max was lucky, so I'm
You
coming.
commend him for trying something,
Yeah,
though.
you got to love it. Yeah. But he blew up on the radio immediately. Like, you can't just throw it down there like that. Whatever. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he blew up on the radio about it. And straight away, you're like you don't love to hear drivers complaining about other cars racing.
Well,
but
I don't know if you saw the post-race interview of Norris for that sprint. Did you catch it at all?
Yeah, God no.
Okay, so he was in the media pen talking about his perception of the Turn 1 incident, and at that moment on the TVs behind him was the George pass attempt, and he straight away turns around and watches it because he heard the crowd screaming, and then when he turns back, he goes, "Oh, just like last year." Threw a little bit of shade back at Verstappen for the shenanigans last year. In his mind, fresh in his mind, and then
again, McLaren, all aspects of McLaren focusing on the wrong things.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So all right, who do we want to award it to? So who gets it, Zach Brown or Max Verstappen? Who do you think was the bigger sweaty try-hard for?
Max. We'll keep the theme rolling of him getting these sweaty try-hard awards. Even though we've relocated the meaning.
I guess Zach Brown did at least go back on... And, look, Nico wasn't at fault there.
Less McLaren, the better.
All right, your trash, bro. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Who was just absolutely pure filth out there this weekend? Mm-hmm. Give me your nominee.
Yuki Tsunoda.
You love a Yuki nominee.
Bit of a Yuki basher. Yeah. The only two things that stand out, because I laughed when he blocked Charles. Like, I'll always pedal, you should race who's on track.
Just to pit? Was it that?
Yeah. So, like, I'll always pedal that you should race who you're on track. Like, I know he wasn't in his race, so, like, you're allowed to race him and you should race him.
Yeah.
But the amount of discrepancy in lap time, I just thought it was funny. Because every car just let Charles go. Because, again, you're not racing him. Why are you going offline? I've already talked about how dirty and marvelled up the offline is. Why are you putting your car there when you know you're literally... don't have a sword in this fight?
He just wanted to know what it felt like to be at the top for a minute, fighting alongside Ferraris.
The only car who fought Charles while he was coming back after his pit stop.
Yeah.
But then what really made me laugh is that he then pitted straight away. Yeah. Like, why? Like, what? That is what really that topped off it for me. I'm like, you just cost yourself probably a second and a half by making that fight. Yeah. Just to pit. When you literally could have just let him go. And it just didn't make any sense to me.
I also love that he blamed Lawson for his
Oh, yeah, there's all
qualifying
that
issues.
crap as well.
But then when you actually watch the footage, just like, like Lawson wasn't like on the racing line.
Oh man, they're all a bunch of whingers. I'm so sick of hearing it. I mean, because then again, the commentators, they're always, both of them always have the differing opinion. Like, oh, is he? Because Brundle's good because he was a race driver. He's pretty blunt with his like, if drivers being
pretty
whingy
no
sooks.
nonsense. Yeah.
So when Crofty's like, oh, was he in the way or did he do that intentionally? Brundle's like, he couldn't have been more off the racing line.
But legit,
and he was probably doing 80 kilometers an hour. How much dirty air are you possibly pushing off your rear wing at that speed?
There's like no way that he was hampering him at all.
No.
Yeah.
Like, and even
But he just had to throw in there.
It makes me sick. Every driver's always like, oh, they did that on purpose. It's like, what would you have preferred they do? Like, really? Drive off the track? Because there's no way you would do that.
Sorry,
for starters.
pull into the pits and...
Yeah, and just completely get out of your way.
Yeah.
Like, they are off the racing line. That is all they need to do. You can think they're being cheeky or sly. They're doing what they're told to do when they're not on a lap. Like,
yeah, and F1 is notorious for gamesmanship.
Yeah.
So even if, like, it wasn't, like an intentional hampering or hindrance, there is still, like... Everyone wants to be on the track to not make it as easy as possible for everyone else.
Yeah,
and they've got to do their own
the
preparation.
Williams went out, even though there was no chance of going to get a lap in.
Yeah,
just to kind of be in the way.
Exactly.
But again, the rules, they didn't get penalised because the rules are the rules.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing
these
wrong
cars
with that.
are allowed to be on the track. They have to be on the track in most cases.
Why would they make things easier for their competitors?
As long as they are not getting in your way on the racing line, there's no problem. But to back all that up, I think it's not his fault, but he missed his qualifying lap. Yeah. Probably not his fault. Probably Red Bull's fault, but it's just funny. And then his balk at Bamman, the Bamman balk.
Yeah.
Did he get pinned for that?
No, he didn't. He got away with it. I think because it's an ambitious passing move there anyway.
It's not ambitious, but it's... I mean, Bamman put himself in the grass, but...
As an avoiding
Yuki
tactic.
was... looking like taking the traditional racing line, and then he definitely turned in when he kind of saw
turned on the
what
braking,
Bamman was
then
thinking.
he straightened up to make the corner.
Yeah, like traditionally you're really taking the wide arc, even on that first kind of apex.
Yeah.
You either dart straight for defense, or you don't. You don't take the traditional line and then see him coming. Like you can't react to someone's defense like that, to someone's attempt like that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I actually can't believe he didn't get.
I'm
anything.
surprised. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
funny.
Yeah,
but
maybe because there was no
that was a bit
contact
of a
or
shocker.
because it's an unusual passing
But
spot anyway.
Again, the racing rules are pretty black and white. You can't move under brakes. You can't react. Well, yeah, true. They should be. The book is pretty black and white. How they implement them, in fact, is not.
All right, well, I nominated Isaac Hadjar, another Red Bull driver, potentially the one that could be replacing Yuki. So I was just stunned that he crashed on his warm-up lap for quali and put it in the wall.
That was a strange one, hey?
Super weird.
It just kind of let go on him.
Yeah, and like maybe that was just how the car was tuned or balanced. And
yeah, I mean, they kept talking about the low ride heights, and obviously the cars can bottom out quite easily.
And maybe you could argue that he was a bit unlucky there, but all drivers have to contend with that same.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, they even showed footage of it happening in practice, and he bailed and cut the chicane. Obviously, in qualifying, you're a bit more committed. Yeah. So then you just...
Well, he wasn't even on a quali lap. He was on the warm-up lap to get ready for the quali lap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So definitely a rookie move. I think it just sort of shows how much rookies were struggling at this track.
I mean, was he the only one that actually hit the barriers this weekend?
No, because you had... who else did you have? You had obviously Stroll had a crash. Sainz had a crash.
They didn't hit the barriers.
I'm sure there was another driver that hit
like the barriers are very far off track.
Yeah,
like you're not meant to hit the barriers.
There's a lot of runoff area. yeah. You
don't find them. You have plenty of wheel to wheel contact, but actually crashing into the barriers, I feel like he's standalone.
I can't.
That's right.
Too much racing. I watched too much racing this weekend. Yeah.
Oh man, I watched the full Talladega race after.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
So you're doing that podcast episode next day?
Yeah, join me.
It did. My only, that was you could argue it was a rookie mistake, but it did sort of bring up the question of is he ready for the big seat? If he was to go there next year, and I know that seat's kind of like nobody really wants that seat, but that's a big upgrade. Is he ready? He's made quite a few rookie errors.
I don't know.
Would it be worth having him do another season just to get more comfortable and more
I think that's
experience?
a smart choice for both of them. That makes sense to me. Like, you have him develop a bit more. Again, new regs. And, like, the only thing I can see is, to continue, Yuki having experience would probably help the team with a brand new car and trying to develop it. Like, you got Max. Like, and really, they're not going to Yuki for advice. But just for the second car's sake, you don't want, a second-year driver. He's not going to give you much.
I guess it also then has the thing of like Yuki. I think they can trust Yuki to be Yuki, but I don't know if they could trust Hadjar to play by rules. Like he's young, hungry. He'll want to make an impression. Does that then? Like we all know that they wouldn't want to upset Max, right? You don't upset Max.
Max wouldn't.
Every team will do anything to get Max. So if you piss off Max, that's the last thing you want to do. So bringing in like a Hadjar who, like, we've seen how fiery he gets at himself, so could that affect the balance of Red Bull? Who knows?
I don't think he'd have the outright pace. I think he'd be put in the corner.
Yeah.
So,
all right, who do we want to give it to?
I want to give it to Yuki.
I'm happy.
Pretty shit. Pretty shit over a couple of sessions.
Yeah. All right, well, let's give it to Yuki. Hard luck. Achievement. So who had the worst luck of the weekend?
Well, could help it to give it to Fernando for his sprint.
You always got to find somewhere to bring him up, don't you?
Well, it's funny because I actually didn't notice how well he did off the start.
Yeah.
I saw that it's funny because he had to DNF just because you got a puncture because they don't get any more tyres with the sprint. It's one set.
Yeah.
You get a puncture, you're out.
Yeah.
But he posted a photo on his socials. Yeah, he was clean and clear into P2 in the sprint.
Oh, yeah.
But he, clipped some debris or something. He got that puncture.
Yeah.
That is bad luck. I mean, he would have probably been able to hold, maybe he would have dropped to third with George's pace, but like, he would have been stoked with that. Second, third, fair few points.
Somehow I completely missed that.
That's what I'm saying. During watching the race, I didn't notice he was, but like the shot.
I thought he was just like got damage from the bump and stuff.
Nah, I don't think he was involved in the bump. I think he ran over some debris. So like he was clean on the inside. Obviously, Hulkenberg, the two McLarens were gone. Yeah. Max and George was way off track, avoiding. Max was clear. Obviously, he wasn't even in the photo. He was gone. But Fernando he was the whole shot. He was coming out of that corner in P2. He did come out of that corner in P2.
I missed that completely. I thought that Hulk, clipped Piastri and then Alonso was just an innocent bystander and all that.
No, I'm pretty sure he ran over some debris exit in the corner.
Bummer. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Would have been good to see. He would have. I reckon he would have been at least third.
Okay. I was angling for Williams here because again they look like a fast car. They look like they had pace, but then you had Albon who had his quali lap deleted for track limits, so he missed out on on another qualifying appearance. And then you had Sainz who he made it into the top 10 of the drivers' standings. He had the P3 in the sprint, which was basically because of the McLarens. And then gets no points in the GP and is the only DNFer. And he's dipped back out of the 10 in the championship now. So he literally popped in, popped out.
Yeah. And he was running a good race too.
He was. He looked fast. He was going to get like at least 7th, worst case scenario. Maybe could have pipped Yuki.
Probably. He had pace. I mean, he passed 2 cars or something in that first couple of laps.
Yeah. Actually, I would have said he would have gotten Yuki. So he probably would have been 7th. Probably nothing on George. Who knows? But we'll never know.
Yeah.
And then he's got a 5-second grid penalty for next round now too. For the incident. Oh, yeah.
So now fucking stupid.
Yeah. Because now the incident carries over to the next race.
They could have investigated that during the race.
Yeah.
I saw it come up as after, I can't believe Kimi survived that, by the way.
Yeah,
that was a decent whack. And he did hit the barriers with his rear wing.
Just tapped it, yeah.
Like that would have altered some stuff or maybe loosened the mounts. So I can't believe he went on and was quite competitive, got the fastest lap. He sort of carved his way through the back end of the field.
It was like you see the move that he did on Behrman, and Behrman gave him space. Behrman knew like he's up in the middle. There's no point me crashing into him and then being out. And credit to him, Behrman finished in the points.
Yeah. Antonelli,
whether he didn't actually see him there or whatever, aggressively made sure not to give Sainz
I don't remember the incident, but I remember when I watched it thinking...
Your initial response was, Kimi's at fault.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. But I remember thinking, I think a move was on.
We got up at the inside. He just wasn't far enough. But
But did he like try to bail out? Is that why he made the contact?
Yeah, and then he locked up. Yeah. So because Kimi came across harder than he was anticipating, like whereas Ollie sort of stayed on the outside.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So if you got the position, like that's why I think it's a bit shit. Like if you got far enough up, but then he's trying to bail out because the outside car's turning across, you shouldn't then be deemed at fault because you had position. You're now trying to avoid an accident that the other car effectively caused, but then now Sainz is at blame because he's dropped behind the imagination line, the imaginative line of where you're allowed to be.
Yeah.
So, like, he had the position, but then he's trying not to make a crash. So that's why I think it's a bit shit to penalise Sainz, especially a penalty that carries on to the next race and just destroys that event for him too.
Exactly, and they're fighting hard in the championship.
He was actually at fault for that. I mean, he could have stayed there and the crash would have still happened, but then you're not at fault now, but you're still out of the Grand Prix, which is what he was trying to avoid first and foremost. Like, yeah. It's a bit silly.
So a bit unlucky. So who do you think is the more unlucky one?
I think Fernando's unlucky, but at the same time, Sainz, I don't know, you choose.
We'll give it to Sainz because I think he's probably unlucky that the penalty isn't just specific to this race.
Yeah,
now it's going to affect your next race.
He ended up DNFing, getting a blame, and he was on for points and a decent result.
And then now it's going to hurt Mexico.
2 races in a row.
Whereas like that is unlucky, but it was also in a sprint. So who really cares that much?
He cares. He posted it on socials.
Okay. Well, yeah. If anyone's going to care, it'll be Alonso.
I'm surprised he remembers his login.
Yeah. Did he fax those photos to Instagram? It's like, hey guys, can you upload this to my channel?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
All right. AFK.
Yep.
Take your pick.
I had to put Alpine somewhere.
Yeah. I agree. I just chucked them in there as well.
Like, I know you said that this is their home, really. This spot in the Grand Prix.
19th and 20th.
They can be they're so slow. Like, I mean, he was running, Pierre was running 12th or 13th off the start?
Yeah.
Because
both
things
of them
happen off the start
positions.
and you kind of get, you can get some spots. But then as the race washes out, they're just so slow, they fall to the back every race. And you're like, how can you be so slow? But then to bring on team orders
it's
for
hilarious,
17th and 18th, you're just like, just why?
Yeah.
Just why? If it's money related, if it's no risk, you tell your drivers beforehand.
Yeah.
In the last 20 laps, or if you're 15th or lower, like just don't pass each other. It's the kind of thing that you just, if these are just what it is, you just say it before the race. You don't have to come on the radio and let the whole world know you're not letting Franco pass Pierre for 17th place. Just for him to defy orders anyway and kind of make you look like a fucking idiot.
And still just to collect 0 points.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was a pretty baller move too. Like,
he went on and still collected another 2 positions from there. So he clearly was faster.
Pierre was slow.
Yeah.
But it makes like Alpine look dumb for even making that situation. Yeah. Franco kind of I know they said he's racing for his career, but it doesn't really paint you in a good light when you fully just defy the team. I don't think other teams looking at that and going, that's what I need. Yeah. This is what I need. A crash kid who defies orders. This is exactly what we need in our team. I just don't think that is the right move for him.
Well, we know that Flavio loves him, so he probably is going to give him a cheeky pack on the back.
Well, yeah, you just don't know. It was a bit silly all round. Like, you just let him race or let him know the situation beforehand, that you don't have to actually say that. Alpine are just so non-existent in Formula 1 right now. They were like, everyone keeps talking about papaya rules. What about our Renault rules? Yeah. It's a shocker. Yeah. All right, AFK. That's an easy one, Alpine. Yeah. Okay, so the last 2 categories. So now, which one did you already prematurely blow? Cyclist. Okay, so repercussions. So Easter egg is a stat or fact from the Grand Prix that we came across that we thought was exceptional. Yeah. So I'll go first. So my one was about Verstappen, who now has 122 career podium finishes, tied with Sebastian Vettel for 3rd on the all-time list now. So he's already caught up to That's Seb. Crazy, because he's got I think 20 more wins than Seb too. Yeah. Seb spent a lot more time off the top spot. Well, I can't remember if it was us that brought it up or something I read, but Seb, that was a crazy stat, like an insane stat, that the bulk of Seb's wins were from front row. From first. He's never won a race off the front row. Crazy. That's nuts, eh? Yeah. So, but yeah, another name that Verstappen has taken off
The
Well,
list notched.
I'm trying to think. Oh, it's for the speed run. He's third all-time wins, and he has been for a while.
And this
Fourth,
is his 10th year, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth is like 20 behind, so he's been third for ages. But
Yeah.
like, when I looked it up, I was like, wow, like he's third.
Yeah.
Like,
How did that happen
I don't
so
know
quick?
what. Yeah, like I don't know what I was expecting because I know Schumacher's second on 91. I think Prost was fourth with like 40.
Yeah.
It also got me excited. I was like, 40 wins. I feel like that's manageable for someone like Oscar. He didn't quite hit the heights we were expecting this year for win tally.
Yeah.
But like we could see him in that sort of top 5. Like 40 wins, you just can't help but think that's achievable these days. 23 races a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max being third all time wins. I was like,
It's pretty nuts. I think it's going to be interesting over the next 10 years, assuming he stays in Formula One and how his career goes. But if he stays at this dominant force, and we said it before, who literally on that grid right now is going to take a fight to Max Verstappen? There's no one. It does make you look back at something like 2021, where Hamilton fought very hard to collect that 8th championship and pip Schumacher to be the greatest of all time. But now is that the way that those results fell, the way that they fell, is that going to now play into Verstappen's hand, where he might be on a 7th championship hunting down that 8th one?
he could.
And then,
it's very realistic.
yeah, and then become the greatest of all time over Hamilton and Schumacher. And then you can sort of see why Hamilton was so upset, because he kind of lost that opportunity in somewhat controversial fashion. But then does that also then kind of help Verstappen potentially be the greatest of all time?
Well, yeah. I
On
mean,
paper.
he's we've said 100 times. He's a very real shot for that 5th.
Yeah.
5 in a row. It's
Yep.
only happened once before.
Yeah.
5 in a row now. And new regs, then the team have clearly figured some things out. Like, they could come out and reel off, with these new regulations, they could come out and just reel off.
Well,
this is his 10th year, like you said. He could be wrapping up 50% of his time in the championship.
Yeah.
Could be you just winning championships to this point.
Yeah.
New regulations could come out. Red Bull tend to get them pretty close. He could come out, and then all of a sudden, it's only 2 more years and he's put together to match.
Yeah.
And then at that point, he'd still have 5 years left of his career.
Well, the other thing, I guess, that sort of plays into it is I saw that Red Bull once again turned down another Saudi offer to buy out the team, and it was, $2 billion or something. And Red Bull turned it down, and like, there's probably a lot of reasons why, but I think that does show one of the things that they mentioned about it was like, no, we're not in this for the money. We're in this for the racing culture. Yeah. We want to be in this
Red
sport.
Bull are very proud.
Yeah.
Like,
we want to be at the top. We want to be competing. We want to be winning. We want success. We want to continue on. I think that goes hand in hand with Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
If Red Bull sell off to Saudi and then all of a sudden they just want to cash in or whatever, what does that do for Max Verstappen? He's probably a big part of that. Like, no.
I mean, Red
if
Bull
we're in this,
are very
we're in
much
this to race.
about being the best at everything they do. I mean, everything, not just the Formula One team, not even just motorsport, every single thing they do. I mean, they were in NASCAR years ago, and they pulled out purely because they couldn't wrap their head around it.
Yeah.
So they were just like, well, we don't want to be in this and not
We're not here to
have
be
results.
20th, yeah.
So they pulled out, and they're only kind of back down a little bit with the driver who's able to win every now and then. But yeah, it's crazy. So I got my Easter eggs are maxed out too. So I've already spilled half of it with me his points that he's left on the table. But Max, in the last 4 races, Max has cut 64 points off Oscar's lead.
Yeah.
In 4
just
races.
in 4 races, yeah.
He's 40 points behind with 5 races to go.
Yeah. So it's 100% possible. Yeah. I mean, if you're putting cash down, if you're putting a big fuck off bet down on someone right now, you're putting it on Max Verstappen.
Well, you're putting it on the fastest driver on the grid, who's got the tally, the runs on the board on exactly how to finish off this year.
Yeah.
Not just him, Red Bull. McLaren haven't won a championship in a long time. They haven't put together the back end of a season in a long time. They haven't put a year together in a long time. Look at Lando last year. They couldn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
With the best car. If he wins this year's championship, he'll break the record for the biggest. He was 104 points behind.
So it'd be the biggest comeback.
Biggest comeback in
yeah,
history.
wow. You see, all these things, you kind of want to see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5 in a row. It's only happened once before, which is awesome on its own.
Yeah.
He will have won every single championship in this
5 in a row, was that
regulations.
Hamilton or was that Schumacher?
Yeah. He will have won every single season of these regulations they're running.
Yeah,
and the last one of the last regs.
Yeah.
Like,
It almost seems like it's meant to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, he will have clean swept so far up to date the whole post-COVID Formula One.
If he does do it, and we want to try and move through as quick as possible, but if he does do it, surely that forces McLaren to readjust their racing culture moving forward. Like if you lose this season to Max Verstappen,
if you come out of the mid-season break, which is not mid-season, it's very quite late in the season.
Late, yeah.
With a 104-point lead over your next rival, and you fumble that shit, you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. Next year, you have to be like, all right, let's go back to a traditional 1-2.
Yeah. Or just, the papaya rules can be simply don't crash.
Yeah.
Which is what they say it is. They need to discard everything else.
Yeah.
Or everything. Everything else needs to go.
All right, side quest, the final category. So, speaking of Red Bull and Max Verstappen, this one kind of transitions nicely across. So, a Red Bull team member re-entered the track after the formation lap began to remove McLaren's guidance tape that helps Norris line up in his pit box.
Yeah.
So they actually got handed a fine for that. Yeah. So it wasn't for removing the tape or the tampering of McLaren's tape. It was just re-entering the track. Yeah. So the FIA were like, no, the tape thing we don't care about that. It's unsanctioned. You just can't leave the track and re-enter the track.
It makes me laugh.
It is hilarious. It is kind of nice. This is old school Formula One games.
But it reminds me of the Verstappen touching Lewis's car.
Yeah.
I've heard since that was Red Bull told Max to do that.
Right.
Knowing they'd get a penalty.
Yeah.
Because they felt like that would rattle Mercedes' cage. Yeah. Having Max really having a good look.
Yeah.
Apparently they told Max to do that knowing they were going to get whatever the fine was.
Just wear it, but it'll throw them off and off.
It'll just rattle their cage a little bit. And whether McLaren saw the Red Bull do that or not, when Lando rocked up and it not being there, he'd be like, who the fuck's touched that shit? And it just a little bit unnerving and unsettling.
Well, we know that Red Bull, they have a history of doing this. I think number one, it's funny that they want to fuck with Norris in that way.
It's funny.
Like it is hilarious.
And they would have known a penalty was coming.
Yeah, and what's €50,000 to them? They didn't give a shit about that. So I think it's funny, but I also think that it shows where Red Bull are at. I think they are like, we have a legitimate shot here. What can we do
to just unnerve them?
Yeah,
that's all.
Just little things like that. And so I think it is showing that they're like, we back our guy. We think he can do it. Yeah. Let's just... there was even rumours that Red Bull started the Piastri's going to Ferrari and he signed a contract thing. Because, again, they knew that would just rattle McLaren and all the focus would be on, McLaren have fucked up here and Piastri's not happy and blah, blah, blah. There was rumours that that Red Bull put that out into the media. Funny. So... I think I like it because I'm a big fan of gamesmanship and I like the head games and I like that it shows that Red Bull care and they want this. They're hungry for it. Even if they still refuse to kind of go into that media pen and say, oh yeah, we're a shot. They're still playing it safe in that front, when they're on camera. I think behind the scenes, they're like, no, we can do this. What else can we do to just shift things into our favor? So
it makes me laugh knowing that they concocted that. The mechanics or whoever was involved are sitting there like, see that tape? See that tape there? We don't want to do it beforehand because we don't want them to start doing it because what a cuck move. Yeah. But, once the cars take off, just... I just love that they had that concept. Knowing all it would do is Lando would come back around and he'd look for his tape and it would just be like, where's my tape? Like, all of a sudden, he's gone from all the prep, all weekend. They were like, the formation laps, the most important lap of the entire weekend.
Am I on the second grid spot where have I missed my thing?
Like, it's just a little thing that all of a sudden takes him out of everything he needs to focus on. He needs to be 3 burnouts. He needs to do all these buttons and modes and get into the right headspace. And then a part of his procedure that no doubt that tape's there every weekend, wherever his grid spot is.
Well, apparently people were removing it before, whether it was a Red Bull or other people. Yeah. So they actually had to get different type of tape that was harder to pull off the wall.
I mean, all teams probably do this. Yeah. Like have that reference point, that line up on the inside of the grid. Yeah. Or whatever, but it just...
it's hilarious.
It's so funny.
I mean, it's funny in any other kind of career or whatever. If a mechanic did that and cost the team €50,000, which is like 100,000 Australian, you're probably getting pulled into the office and being like, mate, what
that one piece of tape.
Here's your see you later. Yeah. Why did you do that? You made us look like that. But in Formula One, that dude's probably a hero right now.
And they probably do short straws. All right, who's going to do it? Because if you get caught by McLaren team, they're probably going to be upset with you.
Okay, and did you have a side quest or did you already?
Repercussions.
The repercussions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Blew my load.
All right, let's wrap it up with the Sunday sesh.
Sunday sesh.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I've got a question for you. Something that happened on this day. If you get it right, you're a Formula 1 purist. If you get it wrong, you're a Drive to Survive fanboy.
Man, I've been on a bad run.
You have been.
I blame you mostly for your stupid ass questions.
No, because every question's stupid, whether you get it right or wrong, apparently. Yeah. And the last two you've had in the bag, and you fumble it at the very last minute.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
try harder.
Yeah.
All right, the 2008 Chinese Grand Prix was run on this date. Tell me the podium finishes.
I already don't like this question. So I got to pick 3 drivers out of 20 from a race 17 years ago.
Yeah. So the winner of the race.
I hate this question already.
The winner of the race went on to claim the Drivers' Championship.
Mm-hmm. So Kimi.
Bad start.
2008.
Yeah.
Oh, he won 2007, didn't he? Ferrari won 2008 as a constructor. Yeah.
So the winner went on to win the World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
Second and third were from the same team.
All right, so I'll go.
I've got one more hint if you need it.
Give me the one more hint.
No, because it'll probably give it away. So let's see how you go.
Well, hang on. If I don't get it right, you're going to give me the hint and give me the point?
Yeah,
all right.
You can have another chance. Yeah.
So then I'm leaning towards Hamilton in 08 was the winner, and then it was the 2 Ferraris.
I want names.
Kimi and Massa. Was it Massa in 08 still? Or
Okay.
was it?
Yep. So they're the 3 drivers.
Yeah.
So what's the order?
Okay, so I gave you that order, which you're saying to me was the wrong order.
I'm just saying, is that you're locking in that order? Hamilton, the winner of the race won the World Drivers' Championship in 08.
But so now it's down to a 50-50. So
Well, I'll give you a point anyway. How's that sound? But just
Hamilton first, and then my initial thing I said was Kimi and then Massa.
Mm-hmm.
So you're alluding that it might have been Massa Kimi.
I'm just saying, look.
Well, I mean, I don't know who finished second and third in China in 2008. So
That's what I'm saying. I'll give you the point anyway.
Give me the third hint. If it's
the team that came second and third went on to win the World Constructors Championship.
Yeah, okay. So that doesn't allude to the position that they finished. No. I don't know. That's a 50-50. I honestly, who would ever know who finished second in China in 08?
I know who won. I know who comes
because you looked it up.
Yeah. You're bad at 50-50s, eh?
Well, yeah, because I keep getting them wrong, man.
Shocking at it.
All right, so Hamilton, let's just go. I want to believe that Kimi beat out
Massa.
Mm-hmm. But the way you're looking at me right now is telling me this is why.
It doesn't matter because you're getting a point anyway, right?
All right, I get the point anyway?
Yeah.
All right, lock in Lewis, Massa, Kimi.
That's it.
Yes.
Nice.
Finally.
See?
I've broken the drought.
Now, the question is that a stupid question?
That is a stupid question. Yeah.
I can't win with you. I really don't know what you want from me. Okay,
well,
look, listen.
No one, whether you're a purist or a DDS
but that's
fan.
why I give you this. This is why I give you the hints.
Yeah, the hints.
Do you know? Basically, I'm asking you. Do you know who won the championship in 08? Which you didn't.
No,
straight off the bat.
Well, because we just did the Ferrari episode, I got the two.
I get confused.
Yeah.
So basically, who won the World Jet Drivers in 08 and who won the Constructors in 08 is really what I'm asking you. And the position, I didn't care if you got the positions right or not.
Yeah.
As far as the 2 Ferrari drivers.
Well done then. I like your question. That was a good question.
You're a tough one. I mean, that was some bloke I never heard of who fucking died 70 years ago on this date, and I could have given you that question.
Yeah.
But chose not to.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No,
look, if you want to switch things up and honestly answer these questions, you can throw some curveballs at me.
Next season we'll switch roles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can be the sub. I'll be the dom.
Nothing changes.
That wraps us up for Austin. So straight into Mexico next week. Nice. Oscar really needs to turn things around.
I can't remember how
he's been trending down. I can't remember either, but he's been trending down, so he needs to turn things around. If he doesn't do it this Grand Prix, I think it's panic stations for us here at Box Banter, for Australia.
I'll give you a quick prediction.
Yeah.
Was there 5 races to go?
Yep.
Yeah. After, it's really not going to break the internet, but after 2 races, when there's 3 races to go, Max will be within a win. I reckon he'll be it.
Well, all he needs is just those McLarens to come together again. And like this, it was, again, they were lucky it was in the sprint and not the GP, but the aggression was already there, wasn't it? It was like
I reckon Max needs to go. I reckon Max is going to enter Abu Dhabi
yeah.
behind a McLaren in the championship, but within 7 points.
Well,
I think it's going
you
to come
could
down to
probably
if
say-
he wins Abu Dhabi, he will win. That's my prediction. He'll enter within 7 points of a McLaren.
okay. You could even go a step further and say, as long as Max out-qualifies the McLarens, he'll win it. Because I think that's all he's really got to do.
But I don't know
And
if he
can
can
do.
just... Oh, man.
Especially because if he can get clear, like we saw with the sprint race, if he can get clear, if the McLarens are getting really aggressive and pulling riskier moves than they normally would have, which we saw, he's going to be clear of that. He's not going to get caught up in that.
Yeah.
You know, we thought maybe the Grand Prix, Norris lining up with Verstappen, there was going to be some chance for some kerfuffling.
But, you know, again, Lando knows where his battle... And I think they're losing sight of where the battle is, but he knows his battle's with Oscar.
Yeah.
Which is why he chose that move.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that wasn't about Max for him,
All
which
right.
it should be at
Yeah.
this point. But
It's getting hot.
all right, see you in Mexico.
See you in Mexico. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on socials. It helps us a long way.
I'm already liked, subscribed.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, I thought I'm the only one listening at this point.
And no, it goes a long way. You know, we're not making any money. We do this out of the love of our heart, over the passion of the game.
34 episodes in, going
Yeah.
strong.
We love seeing the figures go up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, subscribe.
All
Do
right.
the things.
GG's.
All right, see you in Mexico.
Goodbye.